Hi, I'm Sharon Landon and welcome back to Old Asian Lady. Today my guest is WeiShan Lai. She is a professional dance artist and also a gyrotonic and gyrokinesis instructor. After living abroad in London, Tokyo, and San Francisco for 11 years, she returned to her home country of Taiwan. WeiShan has trained in contemporary dance, ballet, jazz, and Chinese folk dance. She has performed and choreographed works with international dance companies in Japan, US, UK, and Taiwan. We chat about her journey switching from a zoology degree to pursuing her passion for dance, how being a mom for 8 years led to questioning her place and identity. WeiShan shares her disappointments and expectations and things she still wants to accomplish, wondering at times why she feels powerless to move forward. Join us for another journey of self-discovery. WeiShan, thank you so much for coming to talk to me today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really happy to join you.
You were born in Taiwan, right?
Yes, I was born in Taiwan.
Growing up in Taiwan, was there anything that specifically stood out to you that made you kind of pursue your industry, which is dance, being a dance artist? I mean, was that what you studied?
Actually, it wasn't.
Okay. Like a lot of people I find out that did not really.
Like my mom sent me to like a dance class when I was a kid, like maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, and then I kind of stopped. And because maybe growing up in Taiwan, there's a lot of like you need to do good at schoolwork, you need to study, and then you will go to good high school, good university.
Yeah, the typical
and then,
picture.
yeah, and then you will have a good job and good life, things like that. So maybe after like kids just for fun things, and then I was like stopped and then focusing on the schoolwork, and then not until I went to high school. There's like a dance club in high school. So at that time, I really feel like I really like it. We did modern dance, jazz, and contemporary. But at that time, it's absurd to think about like at that time I felt it was already too old
But you were in high school, or yeah, really?
to start to dance again.
Okay.
So I was like 15 to 18, and then I feel it's already too late to go to a dance school. But then I still keep dancing in the dance club, and then into university. There's also a good like contemporary dance club in the university. And somehow at that time, maybe some of my friends, they start to join the like a dance company as apprentice. At that time, it's new classic dance company. And then maybe I feel maybe it's possible. I also went to an audition. So I was there for a couple of years. And then maybe I also feel maybe there's a possibility I could go abroad to study dance, because I think in Taiwan, like you, like only a couple of dance school, and then usually people would start it in like junior high school dance class, in junior specialized class in junior high school and in high school, and then they will have very good technique, enough technique to enroll in the dance university, college in Taiwan.
You had to like perform as a part of getting into the university, a dance one, or did you just apply and if your grades are good enough, you can get in?
I think you need to go. They also have auditions.
Okay,
so
so
you need to
auditions.
have a good technique to go to those schools. I didn't try, but I just already felt maybe that's not possible.
Right,
At that time. So maybe I don't know, maybe I should have tried, or I don't know, but because my mindset at that time was feel like, oh, you need to do this and this and this in order
Right.
for you to go to the dance college in Taiwan. But then I feel maybe going abroad will be different. So I applied for a dance school in London called Trinity Laban.
Okay, so interesting that you applied for a dance school in London when you thought that in Taiwan that it wouldn't be possible, or no, because there's only a couple here, but but at the time you said you didn't think that you have enough techniques, but then you thought you applied in London. But was this like way after a long period when you got the technique that you applied for London, or?
Yes, that was after, because when I think about it's not possible to apply for the dance college in Taiwan was like when I was 18.
Yeah.
But then I still keep dancing, although I major in other.
Yeah, this is what I was going to ask you. What did you major in?
I major in zoology.
Zoology.
So
Okay, that's interesting because is that a topic or a field that your parents thought that you could do really well at? Because that's the parental pressure, right? Of making you. So did they think that they approve of that for you?
I think at that time, I do like biology.
Okay.
When I was a high school student. And then I feel at that time the biotech industry seems promising in Taiwan at that time. So I feel maybe like a zoology, biology major would be a nice choice for my future.
Right.
So I got into the Taiwan University and to major in zoology. But at that time, I still very involved in the like modern dance club activity, and also went to other like dance company to take their open classes, and then also went to New York Classic Dance Company to be an apprentice for 2 years.
Right, right.
And then after that, so when I was
already a few years that had passed.
Yeah, so maybe when I was like 25.
Okay.
And then I feel maybe I can try.
Yeah.
But maybe feel like it's too old to go to the dance college in Taiwan already. But so maybe I feel like maybe I can try like
Abroad, people won't know you there, so that you can just
That's totally true.
a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's totally true.
Yeah, you can be like
whoever.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that. But so your mom had enrolled you in dance class before when you were younger, because it was just a thing to do, or she really thought that you would be a dancer, and or I mean, because now you are actually a dancer after so many years, or wanted to dance. Was she happy about that, or she prefer you to be in zoology or biology or biotech?
I think when I was a kid, it's probably just a thing to do. Maybe she want me to know what's right and what's left,
right?
And then to have a good posture or something. So, so she sent me to the like dance class, like probably many kids do,
right?
And then she didn't expect that I would take it serious as a profession. Even like when I was 18, I went to like go to theater and then do a musical with them, and she was like, that's just a one-time thing, right? You will go back to study after this. I was like, okay, yes. So it took a long time for me to realize that it's possible. I wish I could have known it sooner, like it's possible in like a younger age, but it took me a while to realize maybe it's possible to change the career to performing arts.
Yeah, because I mean, better late than never, as they would say,
yes,
right?
Totally, yes.
So then you applied for London, and did you tell your parents or your mom or your parents that you were going to do that? I mean, did you ever get a job in bioscience because of your major before you actually did the full dance thing?
Actually, I didn't.
Okay.
I went to a patent company, patent office company after I graduate. And then maybe it's the company hired me maybe also because I'm biology majored. But what I actually did there was mostly administration thing.
Oh, okay.
So I was there for 2 years. So after maybe I went abroad after that. So I still worked for a couple of years, save a little bit of money, maybe not enough, but yeah. But at that time, I was also be able to did the apprentice thing in the dance company at the same time.
So then at this time, then your parents or your mom has already kind of decided, okay, you go abroad. What were they thinking when you told them you were going to go abroad to live?
I think I told them after I got an admission.
Oh, yeah, it's like they can't tell you, no, you can't go, but I'm already accepted, right? That's a strategy.
Yeah, after I got admission.
Admitted. Okay.
So it's kind of maybe they didn't want me to go, but maybe it's bad to say, but they also couldn't stop me from going.
Yeah. I think this is a thing. I talk about it in other shows. Being a Taiwanese or Chinese or Asian or something like that, all the pressures that you talked about, your parents. In the States, they say what? It's a tiger mom, right? Type of thing. When your parents really pressure you to do better, to get good grades so you can have a good life. It's supposed to be for you, but I wonder how much of it is really for them too, in terms of, I'm not sure. But the fact that you were able to step out of that and really find your way or follow your heart, I think that's really cool, because a lot of kids, they don't get to do that. They follow what their parents say, they live the life, and they don't necessarily get a chance to really, explore it or go out. Yeah. You ended up going to London, and how was that, moving from Taiwan to London for you?
I felt it's life-changing. I felt my mindset kind of totally changed. In the beginning, I went there like 26, and then at that time, I told myself if I couldn't make it by 30, I will stop and I'll go to the regular job. But then after like really involve myself in dance scene and dance field, and I just at the point I was 30, I just feel I couldn't stop. So I feel I should keep going. So it's really changed my thought about like what's possible and what does it mean to make it, or like being a successful dancer or something.
Right. So at 30 then, had you already kind of felt really satisfied in terms of what you've achieved? You said you decided to continue because you cannot stop. But were you already at the level where you thought that, hey, I'm doing pretty good or hadn't reached there yet, but you still never gave up? Kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel I still haven't reached it yet. But I also started to do my own work, because before I probably only want to be a dancer, to be in other people's piece. But then after study at Laban, I also started to create work and also find the enjoyment in it. So I also started to create my own work, and then also at the same time maybe keep auditioning for projects. So I would do like small projects for other people and then also do my own work. So it felt like maybe a different path from what I imagined like my dream job or something.
Right.
But I kind of find the other way to kind of fulfill my like creative soul. Like I want to be able to be involved in. So I felt like I could keep going from there.
So London compared to when you were in Taiwan in terms of, studying dance or training for that, were there methods or was it a different way of doing things that kind of was compared to what you were used to in Taiwan? I mean, did a Western way of thinking about dance or creativity and stuff, did that?
Yeah, I feel it's very different. I feel maybe there is more freedom in dance, and then in London, and also feel like people are not focused on technique that much. Maybe it doesn't mean like they don't care about technique.
Right. So, I understand
But
what
they
you're saying.
care about like how to convey the concept through dance, and then how to have your ideas being conveyed, the story being told through dance. So I felt so I start to feel maybe it's not all about technique, like how high your leg is, and then how I don't know how technical you are. So the idea is very important. As you said before, it's a place like nobody knows me, so it's kind of take a lot of pressures off. So I just feel free at that time as well to be able to kind of explore myself and what's possible there.
So you said you started doing other type of things with dance and not just dancing. What part of that do you enjoy? I mean, what's like your creative process, if you had one, in terms of creating? Because you said you created your own work too. Yeah. What do you feel like is a difference? I mean, is different from being a dancer than creating your own work. But you also, did you dance your own work? Or you had other people dance your work?
I usually have other people dancing my own work.
Okay, interesting.
I usually only do solo for my own work, and then I prefer to hire other people to do my work. And my creating process usually is related to my personal experience. And also my last piece I created abroad was a piece about loss. And then I also collaborated with the dancers who were in the piece, so people sharing their story about their loss. And then there was also text in the piece, so some of them will convey through text, and then some of them convey through the movements. So the whole piece was kind of from everyone's collective efforts of or things they want to share.
So like you think of the idea of this dance thing that you want to do, and you just invite other dancers to collaborate with you, but you tell them what to do, what the theme is, but they can express themselves however they feel like it based on your particular topic or something, or you design the whole show in terms of what they do as well.
I will workshop with them, so everyone will come up with their own like story and also movement related to the story, and also maybe a couple of things like I want to explore as a movement, and then I will kind of edit it to kind of let them fit like with one another to have a like a continuous show as like a 45 or 15 minutes piece together.
Okay. So you are choreographing it, you were writing, you what did they call it? You directing it or writing
yes,
it, the whole thing.
directing
So was there any point in your life during this period of time where you thought really confident in terms of what you're doing and what you're, expressing through your creative work? Was it in London or was it somewhere else?
That at that time, I was only in London for 2 years.
Okay.
And then I moved to Japan for 2 years, and then I moved to San Francisco. So that was in San Francisco. I feel in San Francisco, I feel it's quite a welcoming environment for like foreigner to be able to work there. And so the piece I was talking about was actually the first time I do full evening length work. So my own show. So the other piece I will probably join the festival, do like 15 minutes, 20 minutes work. And then that piece was the first time I did the full length evening work. I was working on it for like 2 years.
Wow.
So yeah, at that time I feel I was quite proud about that piece, and I think people who came to the show was good, gave me good feedback. I was really happy about that.
So you were saying you went from London to Tokyo. Does Tokyo have a specific thing that you wanted to find or to experience there in terms of dance that was different than London, or it was just an additional step of study?
I went to Tokyo because of family reason. And at that time I also met like a couple of good friends who were Japanese. So I was also able to like apply for some festival in Tokyo. So there's also like a small theater, like we can create work over there. So it was also quite nice to like go to different places to have different experience.
Yeah, I feel like that's really cool that there's like a progression of what you learn and what you experience, because then that can be incorporated into things you do later.
Yes.
So then you went to San Francisco, and that was for a job already. You were already, got an audition, or you were involved in a project, because you said it's easy to find work there.
Yeah, I also go to there with my family.
Okay.
And then I kind of got a friend introduced me to a dance company like within a month. And then that company focusing on Asian American stories. So they need a lot of Asian dancers. So I was very lucky. Like I kind of just arrived, and then
the right timing, right?
Got
that's
invited
a lot.
to a project with them, and then I kept working with them for the years I was there. So yes, it was really nice.
Wow. So how long did you stay in San Francisco?
Like 6.5 years.
6.5 years. Okay. And did you find it? Well, you were only in London for 2 years, and you were in Tokyo for 2 years. So I guess the American culture, blending into the American culture or experiencing that, was there anything that you felt that was overwhelming or anything, or did you just feel super comfortable in that environment?
Before I moved to San Francisco, a friend of mine who used to live there, and he told me like, it's a place to do your own art. And then and I found it true. And everyone was like doing their own art. So I also have the feel like it's better done than perfect.
Right.
In a way, like you have to keep doing it rather than like wait for the right time and right moment to do it. So I was able to like kind of keep applying for different like a resident artist or like a small showcase salon, and also keep go to audition to be in other people's project, and at the same time also met other dancers to like I know like who I like, I can invite them to my piece. So I feel it's a really like a good community that I can easily meet people and then to work together, collaborate. So it's it was very nice.
It always seems like, okay, it's always good when things work out fairly smoothly. But after you did, well, I don't know if it was smooth, but it sounds like it was smooth. So when you did your first full piece, and there was a lot of good feedback on that, did you start? You must have started another continuously working or create other projects for yourself. Or were you more auditioning? You said you were auditioning and working on other people's projects, but
for that piece, I was actually thought about like maybe I will bring them to like other cities.
oh, okay.
But then at the same time, I was also pregnant.
Okay. Oh yeah. Like, oh, you didn't dance in that piece though.
No,
you was other people,
dance,
but you were pregnant. You still,
That's so
a lot.
I was pregnant when maybe I was like 8 months pregnant when the shows was on.
Oh.
And then maybe before the show was on, I also like tried to meet with like a art festival director to talk about the possibility for future presenting the work. But then the director actually told me, oh, I think you should focus on your family.
Oh.
I was meeting him when I was already showing, and then he told me that. I was like, what? and but then turned out maybe he was right, because it took a lot for me to, after the child was born, and it took a lot of time and energy that I really need to focus on my child.
So you were there for 6.5 years in San Francisco. That's why you came back to Taiwan, or what was the decision that made you come back here?
I also family.
Oh, it's all really relating to family. But was it like real pressure, or it's just you know how when we're talking about family pressures, it is really because of that, and it's not because you thought it was the right timing. It's possible. It's okay. I'll try it, kind of thing.
Because my husband found a job in Taiwan. So, and maybe it's also difficult to like without like the family support. So it's also difficult for us to raise the kids over there. So we decided to move back.
Is he also from Taiwan? Or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because I feel like it seems kind of a standard that when couples have kids or children here, I mean, when they have children, that the family kind of steps in and help out, because you really have to make a living, you know, and need a lot of help. Of course, some people I know are lucky enough to get an ayi or a nanny to take care of their kids. But so what was the adjustment like for you in terms of now you have a baby and you really had to step back from dance? Did that affect you in any way?
Because my son had a congenital condition.
Oh.
So he he was in NICU for like 2 months, and he needed to have surgery. And they also gave him a G tube, like to feed him. So at that time, it's really necessary for me to take care of him like a full time.
Yeah.
So I was like didn't have like any energy to go back to dance in the first year. So I was basically stay at home, like to take care of him like every day, and maybe things to and his condition to start to be more stable in the second year. So I started to hire like babysitter to come in to help a few hours, and then I can go out to like a rehab dance class, rehab, and then try to get back in shape. So it took me probably 2 years before I can commit to another dance project. I was lucky the choreographer I was working with was still willing to hire me after like I paused for like 2 years. So
But was this in San Francisco then?
Yeah.
You were still in San Francisco at the time?
Yes.
Okay.
We moved back when my son was almost 3.
3, okay.
So in the first few years, I was still in San Francisco.
Oh, so you actually had like a year and something more after your son was born and after you took care of him to get back into the dance environment and stuff. And so then you said it was family that you had to come back to Taiwan. And then once you got back to Taiwan, was it because most of your professional, work and professional experiences now not necessarily been in Taiwan. So how was it? How did you balance or manage that? You have a
I felt it was quite difficult. I feel every time I move to a new place, I kind of need to like start over to like go out and be involved and meet people. And then when I moved to US, probably only like me and my husband, so it was easier. Like I can just do as much as I want. And then but moving back here, I still need to take care of my son, and so I have like much less time like I can have. So it's really started like a very slow. I gradually go back to my friends, like high school friends.
Are they still there? Are they dancing?
Some of them.
Okay.
Like I have like 2 friends. They have their own company.
Oh, nice.
So I went to their like company class, and then start to kind of get involved. But there was also COVID, so I moved back to like 2019.
Okay,
before the COVID started. So probably everyone has struggled.
Exactly.
So maybe not until like recent years, I started to like dance again to be in the performance.
And do you feel that you've changed in the terms of how you dance or how you express? Because I think I remember I read, I don't know if it was on your website or something, you said that dance was the most purest form of communication or something like that. And I know in acting and people that are singers also find that, singing wise is a way of communication. But in terms of how you see it as the best way of communication, what was your thinking, or why do you feel that way?
I feel maybe it's about like embodiment, and sometimes the words sometimes not necessarily means what it means. But we in dance world we always say like body is the most honest form of.
Okay, honest is the word that you said. I saw it wrong.
The most honest way of communicate. So always say body never lie. So it feels like maybe in the embodiment of expression, maybe sometimes you not necessarily know this person's backstory and not necessarily know what happened to them, but maybe you can connect like emotionally with this person through movements. So that was how I feel at that time.
I don't know, you started taking an acting class too, because that's how we kind of have the connection. And so what made you think to take acting classes?
Maybe I started to use text in my dance work.
Okay.
Like we call it like dance theater. So sometimes people talk and dance in the piece. So I started to take acting class when I was in San Francisco. So I took like act 1, act 2, act 3. They sometimes they have script, and then also took like a voice class, and maybe I think one of my class teacher like act 1 or act 2 something, and then she also use one of the mindfulness like repetition exercise during the class, and then I was very impressed and very interested to see like how it can evolve. So after I moving back to Taiwan, so I was thinking maybe I can explore that a bit more, and then found the Meissner technique class in Taiwan. So I decided to join.
So do you feel like having taken the acting classes that it enhances your dance in any way, or vice versa, or?
After taking an acting class, I felt it's more than I expected. So it's may make me feel like maybe it's possible to be an actor.
Well, it's just like I was saying, because in Meisner, right, they're always telling us about dreaming. Daydreaming and dreaming and stuff on what's possible, and if you do it enough, that it actually, it happens. So all right, so you said it's possible to be an actress. Is this something that currently that you're thinking more of being part of rather than dance, or ideally both of them?
Yes. So I was thinking maybe, so I also started to like look for like acting job and then apply for them recently. So I ideally both of them, maybe.
I'm thinking, do musicals, you can have the musical is acting, dancing, and singing. So that might be
But I feel I'm not good at singing.
But if you take voice lessons, maybe it might be possible to be a singer. Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one thing I feel. Maybe I'm not good enough.
Because Meisner actually is a lot of commitment. It's like a whole year. You actually did it for 2 years.
Yes.
So when you make that commitment and it takes a lot of time because of the exercise and the practice and all of that stuff. How did you manage with your son while you're? Were you working at all too during this time, or were you just doing classes and you're taking care of your son too, or?
I was working as a gyrotonic teacher
Okay.
at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And luckily, my son's studio has like a day class.
Mm-hmm.
So usually in the evening, it's more difficult. I need to pick up my son.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but they have like a day class like 2 afternoons. So
Mm-hmm.
that's I was able to manage. And then while teaching schedule, I can also try to arrange like around it.
Yeah.
So I was able to do the acting class and then teaching job and then
and taking care of your son.
of my
'Cause
son.
this is the thing is that for me, I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm spending so much time doing this, and I just could not imagine. And you know, I'm doing also part-time acting as well whenever I can get projects. But my life is a lot simpler than your life, you know. And to imagine that you had to deal with all of that. Was there any point in your life, I mean, through this whole period of maybe, I guess, moving back to Taiwan, where you felt, did you ever feel that what you have been going through abroad and then coming back to Taiwan, any identity things that affected you in terms of who you were and who you are? Because here you were living abroad, you got all that experience, then you came back to Taiwan, but when you're abroad, you became a mother, and then you came back to Taiwan. Yeah, were there any periods where you just felt questioning about who you are and what you're doing, or if this is better? Do you want to be a full-time mom? Do you want to be a, get back in the dance? Any type of period of unsure where you are.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it actually also took me a while to think again like I'm a dance artist. Because I think for quite a long period of time I was focusing on being a mom, and then I didn't have a lot of opportunity to create work for myself. So it took probably like a couple of years. I was not performing and also not making my own work. And then I started to feel like my thought about creating a work is like, it felt so like empty. Because when I was like keep creating work, I always feel like, okay, I can do that, at what my possible. But there was a period of time I just feel like I don't know what to do next. Like if I'm gonna create a work right now, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, but what caused that, or what do you feel like caused that to make you not be able to think that you could do it, or didn't know what to do? You think? Was it because you were a mom and you had other responsibilities?
I feel maybe about like time and energy. Like I just didn't have the time and energy to think about the things like that.
Yeah.
And maybe I was also take on a lot of teaching. And then so both of them combined, I just keep like missing that deadline of any application, and then keep feeling like I couldn't grab anything.
Right. It's like when because I feel like a little bit kind of identify a little bit with that, because sometimes I felt like you said sometimes you miss deadlines. And was it like did you feel like it was a conscious type of thing? You knew you were going to apply for something, but then you just didn't end up doing it? Was it because you had just so many things on your mind you couldn't do it? Or was it kind of in the back of your head, a little bit self-doubt? I don't know, because for me, I felt like I knew what I wanted to do, and I had ideas of what I wanted to do, and things that I could do and should do, but then, you know, I just delayed it, or for some reason, not that I consciously thought it was purposefully that I delayed it, but maybe it was like I thought there was so much for me to do that I felt a little bit overwhelmed in terms of, oh, well, where do I actually start to get myself out of this process?
Yeah.
You know, because, yeah, I don't know. I being stuck sometimes is I'm not sure why I felt stuck.
Yeah, I feel probably, obviously apply. Yeah, sometimes it's probably like it's a lot on the plate already, and then you try to make time to apply for these things, and then you start to feel maybe I don't have enough time to do it well, and then you start to feel like maybe like convince yourself maybe you don't have enough energy, you won't like write a good enough proposal, and then you end up didn't write at all. And then I feel that happens a lot. Yeah, but yeah, and not until maybe this year I got something. I was in the like Want to Dance festival this year, and then maybe that application was like I tried to apply on the last day, and then I said like, no matter how good it is, I'm gonna to send it.
Right.
Yeah, so probably, and I also didn't expect I would get it or anything. So, but then surprisingly, I got in. And it's kind of feel like it's starting many things for me this year.
So that the 1, 2, 3 one, that's the dance project that you did that Isho was posting on.
Yeah, that was the one in April.
Right. And so yeah, it's like when something, it's not like it's not like a pressure that's taken off of you, but it's kind of like if you have a dam, you know, and there's water that's behind the dam, and then you just, you know, pull the plug, you know, things start flowing again. And so you said right now that you feel like there's stuff that's happening, and what kind of stuff? Because you are teaching. That's what I was going to ask you too. Because you said you teach
Gyrotonic.
Yeah. What is that? What is that exactly?
It's a movement method.
Okay.
And it's combined yoga, ballet, swimming, Tai Chi. And
Tai Chi, okay.
And it's founded by Julio Horvat, who is like Romanian-born American.
Oh, that's interesting, because there's always like, and is it like exercise, or is it like a dance? It's movement, you said, but
yeah, we can say it both. It's mainly an exercise, but it looks like a dance, and they have their own equipment. So
specifically. Oh, really? Wow.
For the movement system.
Is it a new type style of? I mean, is it taken off in Taiwan, or you teach it, but do people? I never heard of it.
I got licensed when I was in San Francisco. And the movement method started. Maybe it's already been there for 40 years.
Wow.
It started in America, in New York, and then it kind of gradually spread out to the world. And
so is it quite popular in Taiwan then? Or people don't know about it?
I think it's getting popular in this past few years.
Okay.
Because maybe some like Korean star, they introduce it in like an entertainment.
Oh, really? Because they do it themselves, not like in their Oh, they're not dancers. They're more actors. So it's not like they can introduce it in their work.
People, maybe still not as popular as Pilates, but some Pilates teacher or some studio do Pilates. They also start to introduce gyrotonic. And I think in the past few years, there are more and more people know about it.
Okay.
It's a beautiful exercise, and then it's also helping me a lot to kind of stay in shape, to be able to stay physical and to be able to dance.
So your son is totally fine now. Is he still going having some issues, or he's?
Oh, he's totally fine.
He's totally fine now. I mean, have you ever thought in incorporating anything about motherhood or having a child into your works and things like that? Or is that something that's, not... I don't know. Because I don't know what is the motivation of people, creating dance works.
The piece I did in April kind of was about that.
Oh.
Like
okay.
The struggle of maybe also have like identity crisis, like questioning myself, like am I still a dancer, or am I still...
I'm too old now, like you always say.
I also feel maybe because I'm also like 43
which
this
is
year.
Still kind of young, according to my terms, this old Asian lady. Yeah.
Yeah, so because maybe I also encounter like something like when I just moved back to Taiwan and I try to go to audition, and then they'll ask your age, and then they will say, oh, wait, maybe like under 35, or like some festival they would say under 40 or something. So I don't know, the barrier of age probably harsher
in Asia compared to the West. Because once you reach a certain age, you're an old person. I mean, my niece, she's 40, I think. Yeah, she just turned 40, and she feels like she's so old. And I think that's kind of like an environment that makes you feel that way. And that's one of the reasons why I have this show, is because an old Asian lady is older in certain places and younger in other places, And for the age requirements for acting wise, I find that I remember when I first started applying, it was like, oh, you have to be this age or this age, and if you're not that age, forget it. But now at least it's, if you look within that age range, which opens it up a lot more, and it doesn't, put that pressure on. But so being 43, do you feel your age? Do you feel, that things then are still possible? Or is there an exciting thing that's breaking through in your life where you can have a different identity?
I feel maybe I'm still looking for it. I got invited to a dance project as a dancer this October. So moved to, we were in Pingdong for 2 weeks for like a creating process for a new piece for my friend's dance company. And at that time, I really feel fulfilling to kind of be able to create a work together. The creating process really excites me. But also because at the same time, also because it's like a 2-week long intensive rehearsal. So maybe at the second week, I start to feel maybe some old injury with my body. And then maybe on like one uncertain day, I felt it really hurts. And then at that time, I feel like, okay, maybe that's it for me. But then I still try to manage it, and then to be able to kind of get through it. And then it also didn't take a long time for me to feel I recovered. So after I recovered, feel it again, or maybe it's still possible. So I don't know. I still
Yeah.
feel like I need to kind of find a balance about like how much I want to do, and then how much like I can do with my body and with my time and energy to still have the creating part to be part of my life.
So you talked about some injuries and stuff. It was because of a result of dancing that you were injured or something like that? You said you some small injury.
Yeah, probably maybe some. It's been a long time.
Oh, okay.
And so sometimes
it
it come back, and
Yeah.
then sometimes it's fine. So
Okay. So it's not a matter of then being more in a regimented environment where you've been in training and it gets better. It's not that. It's just an old injury that will be always there.
I feel like I was totally fine when doing like the class, dance class, and then but as soon as we stop and I walk out the studio, I feel the pain. So it's so weird. So I still haven't found a way to like completely solve it, but just how to manage the way I use my body, maybe.
So, is there any thinking in your mind that would be a possibility then that you would go back to the States or back to San Francisco? Or do you think that Taiwan is actually an environment that's suitable for you right now to further your creative process?
I'm quite happy that I'm in Taiwan right now.
Yeah, because
So
I feel
with
like
everything.
I feel like Taiwan has kind of changed a lot, right, since you first went abroad, even though it's been not that many years ago. Is it that Taiwan's changed that much too, that it's accepting
Yeah.
of different styles? Or
Yeah.
you don't need to go abroad, really, actually, no? You can be a pioneer here with your own work and creativity.
Yeah, I think it changed a lot, and then people, they are like more and more like a small company, and then they would do their own work, and also many festivals to apply, maybe.
So there's a lot more.
So yeah, I think so. But yeah, but I also need to probably get involved more to be able to know the community,
Yeah.
to know more people.
And that's another big thing. You have to get out there and put yourself out there and network. And we just hope that, it's a friend that can introduce, or it's luck. Because I also kind of feel like when in our life, things will happen when they happen. And a lot of times it's just the right timing,
Yes.
When you're not ready for that thing to happen, it won't happen. So it's kind of like a process. It's like, yeah. So
So I also feel maybe for creating my work, for now, I actually not sure who would be interested to work with me.
why is that? Because you have a history of already of, working and dancing with so many different projects, and you created your own project. Why would you think that people might not want to? Confidence? You don't have that? Or you don't know enough people?
Yeah, probably I feel I don't know enough people.
But I feel like people that know dance and understand dance, and when you put the proposal out there with your ideas and stuff like that, that people that are excited about dance as you are, the creative, expression, that there's going to be people that would want to be part of it. It's just like your project with the Lost. You're going to find people that maybe, I don't know, just
yeah, maybe I just stuck in my head, like I didn't actually try. Maybe I just haven't tried. I just maybe just compared to when I was in San Francisco, like I feel like who I want to ask. Like
okay.
who I
You knew people
already work with, and then
Yeah.
I know like who I want to ask, and
Right.
then but here, I'm still not sure like who I want to ask, and then at the same time they would be interested working with me.
Right.
But yeah, but you are right. I need to at least like maybe have a like a solid thing like what I'm going to do next, and then
Well, I don't know. I feel like in one way, yes, we need to have an idea, but in another way, as I get older, I'm thinking things will happen when they happen. But, not to give ourselves pressure, because everything that you've been doing up to now, learning this, getting back into acting, taking care of your own body, you have a son, you have a lot of things that is on your plate, really. So I think the most important thing I feel like is don't feel like you have to do this at such and such time, or I need to do it. Because I feel like for myself, when I do that, I don't know, it makes me more, like we were talking earlier, I give pressure to myself, and a lot of times women especially, I feel like, are a lot harder on themselves than we should be. And we should give ourselves a break. We should give ourselves some, time to just be. We all go through a lot of stuff in our life. And each person has their own particular experiences. And so if there was something that you would want to tell somebody, whether it's maybe somebody going through an older person, or somebody going through the same experience that you had, or maybe a younger person thinking, oh, should I go abroad to do this? Oh, I love this, but my parents tell me I have to do this. Was there anything just simple that you might say?
We are not getting any younger, so go for it if that's what you want to do. I also often tell me that. Tell myself.
So I guess, so it's just basically, what are you waiting for? Just do it. If you want to do it, right?
Yes.
Don't wait for anybody else. You make the decision, you do it. If you like it, you want to do it, just go.
And if you didn't try, you might regret it. That's the worst thing that could happen. If you try, you fail, it's okay. At least we don't have regrets.
That you never did it if you never did it in the first place. Okay. Very cool. Thank you so much for coming and talking with me. And if somebody were to want to find your work or what you do, where would they find you?
I have a website. It's called WeiShanLai.org.
Okay.
And also some videos on Vimeo.
Okay, of your work and stuff. Okay, great. So check out her website, WeiShanLai.org.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you all for joining us for another episode of Old Asian Lady, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.